Hello and welcome to a quick little update video. I've got, this is the rear battery box. I've taken all of the battery hold down brackets that were in here for whatever batteries they were using. And it's interesting because they're only on one, you can see the holes here. They've only got them on one side. I thought maybe there'd be more holes on the other side, but no. They've only got holes on one side. So that's kind of odd. You can see the paint is coming off of the aluminum. It's definitely seen better days. So I got all that out. What else have we done? If you saw in the previous videos, we tested both motor controllers, and the only one that's kind of got an issue is this one back here in the corner, the passenger side rear motor here. Sounds like it needs to have its encoder adjusted. It could also be something wrong with the drive, with it detecting the encoder at slow speeds. So I might swap drives to see if the problem follows the motor controllers or stays with that motor, but I suspect from previous experience that I need to take the back cover off of that motor, and there's a little adjustment screw, and adjust this optical encoder has probably drifted or moved, or hit a really big bump and got jostled enough that it's no longer putting out a nice 50% duty cycle, and it's causing the drive to get a little confused at low speeds. I took out all of the data acquisition stuff, so it is now nice and clean back here. There's no extra wires or anything, took out a bunch of stuff that was not necessary, and I cleaned up in here. You can see there's no longer a data acquisition system under here, and took out all the cables that were going underneath to tap off of the center console there. This is the box of data acquisition components that I took out. So there's a bunch of current sensors, and yeah, so they were essentially they had a big current sense on both the negative returns, and I guess they didn't trust the current shunt that's in there. It was giving you the same thing, and then one on the battery charger, and one on the accessory, which runs the your power steering DC-DC converter, and another little conditioning box that did a voltage sense. So yeah, there's a little data acquisition board down in here, and yep, just a bunch of junk. So took all that out, save some weight, I guess. Let's see. Oh, and there's like 4 different temperature sensors. Now, the thing that worries me is somebody went and decided to rewire this box, and yeah, that worries me. I'm not quite sure. So these 2 negative cables, they both connect up to this current shunt right here, and those both go back to both motor controllers. So this is the main negative of one motor controller, that's the negative for the other motor controller. Both positives are picked up in the back battery box for both drives. Then so if you've got, say, 24 batteries, you can't fit them all in the front, so you have to split up the pack. So one of these holes here should be a cable that runs from this battery box to the rear battery box, and I believe that's this one right here, but they've gone and joined the 2 together for some reason, and that kind of worries me. So this red cable here should be the one that goes between this battery box and the other battery box. What's very disturbing is that these 2 cables right here that are red should be negative. Those are the negatives. One negative goes here to this front battery box to pick up the rest of the stack. The other negative runs back to the rear battery box to pick up the negative there, because it has to go, it goes all the way back from the rear box up through the current shunt so it can get measured and then back, because the current shunt is on the negative side. But for some reason, somebody's replaced these cables with red ones, which worries me, because if they hooked up positive to this, they might have blown up the voltage sense and the current sense in the amp hour counter. Because the only positive coming in here should be this, which is the accessory power, accessory positive, and the battery charger, which is, they've rerouted back behind here. So I need to fix that. No, that wasn't on the screen. They've rerouted the battery charger cables back behind there, so need to fix that. But yeah, this is really interesting, so I'm not quite sure what's going on with that, because this should be the main power 144 volt distribution box that goes through here, and then those all come out the other side, and that coms out over here, and it gives you your 144 volts for your DC-DC converter and for your power steering, and if you had air conditioning, it'd be over here. But it worries me that they've put red wires on the negative input to this. So hopefully they haven't killed a bunch of stuff. Now that we know the controllers are working, but we know that they were also powering that separately with that big connector. That one big, where did I put that? Yeah, this big, those are the bars I took out. I have no idea what these parts go to. They look like somebody's cut them up. I can't find anywhere where those go in the car, in the truck. I have no idea where this came from. But they were powering the motor controllers with this big cable here. So they weren't using the internal wiring. So I think that they could have completely just rewired this for what they needed. And that kind of worries me. So, but well, I'll wire it properly. We'll get it back up and running. And then we'll probably, I guess the next step would be to rewire this fuse box, power distribution box, and get that up and running. I think that'll be my task first thing tomorrow, because it's kind of late now. And yeah, anyways, thanks for watching. Bye.